This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Okay, Mom, for my dorm, I'm thinking coquette meets poet core.
That sounds like a vibe. What do you need? And where do we get it?
Target. I already have everything on my mood board. A comforter, pillows, and a super cute floral lamp.
So you probably need a rug to tie it all together.
OMG, they have the perfect CMPC rug.
CMPC?
Coquette meets poet core.
Oh, okay. In that case, let's RTT.
Yeah, let's run to Target. You're getting it. Find your dorm inspiration and everything you need at Target.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
No doubt, you've probably heard of the Netflix effect, the dopamine rush that you get when you binge watch your favorite shows. Your brain just gets slammed with pleasure and accomplishment as the episodes pile up. And it's not something you should feel bad about. We all do it. Some of us with actual shows like Dexter and Breaking Bad and Vikings. Some use crime dramas. Or maybe you're all about YouTube and going down that rabbit hole. Or it's the quick Facebook videos. Of course, the algorithms know us. It certainly knows me anyway. Cooking videos, yes. Fishing videos, UFC highlights, random street fights, near-death shit, aliens, fuck around and find out videos. Yeah, as far as actual shows, lately I've been ripping through a bunch of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Andy Samberg is so funny. That kid is funny. A great cast, always super funny. You eventually love all of the characters, even some with smaller roles, like fewer lines, like Scully and Gina. They're funny. And that's what this week is all about. It's binge watching and binge watching habits of 9 guests this podcast. In sports, a pro golfer, a PFL fighter, and a retired CFL quarterback. In entertainment, a podcaster, a best-selling author, and a comedian. And you'll hear this week's musical guests in just a minute. The singer of a rock band from Anaheim, California, and 2 Juno Award-winning Canadian singer-songwriters. My name is Todd Hancock. Appreciate you being there on the other side of this mic. Been doing this since the late 90s. Back then it was on radio, but I get it. You have choices, so I don't take that you're here listening lightly. As always, a shout out to our title sponsor, Citywide Mortgage Services. They're coming up on their 3rd year sponsoring. The last couple of years, a big reason we've been able to do what we do. It's buddies supporting buddies as well. As I know, one of the owners, Dara, he's a good friend of mine, was at his place last year for the Super Bowl, and I would have been there otherwise, even if Citywide wasn't a sponsor. He's a good dude. He's good at what he does, which is, of course, is key. Get the best mortgage rates and advice. I'll be hammering through all of my stuff with Dara probably in the next couple of months at the very most, probably a little bit less actually. I've full confidence in Dara will do everything to make sure that I get the best for me and my family. Big props to local businesses, of course, supporting other local entrepreneurs. Take the stress out of mortgages. Use my friends, my network, Citywide Mortgage Services. Talk to Dara and he'll sort you out. Okay? Okay. So coming up shortly, in Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, CFL Winnipeg Blue Bombers wide receiver Lucky Whitehead talking about the biggest differences of playing in the NFL versus playing in the CFL, because he's played in both leagues, right? That is powered by FKP MMA. Great place for you to learn self-defense, build your self-esteem, learn to protect yourself and your loved ones. It's widely known that they are Vancouver's #1 training destination. Find them, of course, through through fkpmma.com. First, let's get to some musical guests and their binge watching habits, all of whom are powered by the Hawkins Sound Ranch. Get over 20 years experience. Use their state-of-the-art studio. Corey, the owner, can help your band get to that next level. He's been in bands that got radio play in Canada. He's toured across the country. He knows the game and now is giving back to the community. I think it's very cool. Expect commercial sound on an indie budget. Check them out through the HawkinsSoundRanch.com. And what is it about binge watching, do you think? Like, certainly it's the dopamine rush. We get that. You get the reward. It's very similar to what you get with other things that we like to do. The downside, if you watch for hours and hours, especially late into the night, it can interfere with your quality of sleep. But that's a small price to pay, right? As mentioned, Buck Cherry is from Anaheim, California. They've been around since 1995. Wow, coming up on 30 years. That's crazy. They've had a bunch of hit songs over the years, big ones like Crazy Bitch and Sorry. They've released 7 albums since 2008 and show no signs of slowing down. I believe they're in studio right now working on new music. So listen to their singer, Josh Todd, talking about his binge watching habits.
Oh, wow. I've been watching this show called A Patriot on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
My wife actually found it and we started watching it, and then I went out on the road, so I kept watching it. I watch a lot of true crime too on Netflix. I mean, so many. I just watched all the cold case files, and I saw the Ted Bundy one and the Richard Ramirez documentary. Fucking crazy.
That was an insane documentary, man.
Yes.
Like no rhyme, no reason. Fucking girls, guys, old people, young people,
kids. Richard Ramirez. Yeah. I read his. See, I was a kid in Southern California at that time, and if you knew on the documentary, there's this kid, and he's really young at the time, and he's the one that got the license plate where they found Richard's fingerprint on the back of the mirror. Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
That kid in Mission Viejo, California, cut to years later, I befriended this kid. I didn't know who he was, and he was just like this cool kid. He had long hair, and he rode a Rice Rockets sport bike. I thought he was like the coolest kid. He had a motorcycle and stuff, and I went over to his house, and he had this plaque on his wall. It said, "From the Los Angeles Police Department, thank you for the capture. For participating in the capture of Richard Ramirez." I was like, whoa. What the fuck is this? And he goes, "Oh yeah, you remember the Night Stalker?" I go, "Do I remember?" Everybody was terrified.
How
of course. He goes,
you forget that?
He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, he killed somebody on my street, and I just saw this car that was kind of like he just was really observant kid and saw this car that wasn't a car that he'd ever seen on his neighborhood, and he just wrote down the license plate." And I was like, man, I mean, I go, "You're the reason why they eventually ID'd him and captured Richard Ramirez. I mean, you were a big piece of the puzzle, it's fucking crazy, so that part of it was really cool. And
wow, man.
And that's why I read the book. I read the Life and Crimes of Richard Ramirez on the first Buck Cherry tour when we were out in a van, and it just scared the shit out of me, man.
Oh, dude, to know that people like that actually exist in real life.
Yeah.
Fucking scary, man.
They didn't get into his childhood, and he had this really abusive father, and he grew up in a place in, I believe, New Mexico, where they were at that time testing the atom bombs or some bombs out there. And there was a lot of kids with these birth defects, and his sister had some kind of birth defect. And Richard, when he was a kid, had these like really chronic headaches coupled with his dad being very abusive. I think that Richard's brain didn't develop, really well when he was a kid. And that's how he became kind of a sociopath. And then he had befriended this friend of the family's that was his Vietnam vet. And he was like this crazy motherfucker. And Richard would go over to his house, and this guy had a shoebox full of all these pictures of people that he had killed in Vietnam. Right. And he would show Richard all these pictures, and Richard was like fascinated with them. And he kind of like looked up to this guy, and this guy taught Richard how to be a criminal, how to like go in and rob places and be like invisible. You know, he kind of really taught him how to rob places, and they didn't get into it, but like Richard Ramirez, before he started killing, worked at this hotel, right? And he had a skeleton key. And so he would go into people's rooms at night and he would crawl on the floor and he would rob them. He would like steal stuff out of their purses and stuff and then leave. So he would like break it in, you know, he would get into all these people's hotels. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, can you imagine? And this is before he started killing people. And then eventually he tried to rape a girl at this hotel who was in her, you know, and the boyfriend came back to the hotel room and they had a scuffle and beat the shit out of him, but they didn't press charges. They just told like the hotel employees and they fired Richard. And then it was shortly after that where he started his crime spree. You know, it's crazy though.
Another thing about binge watching shows is the cliffhanger effect, those suspenseful endings that keep you hooked and thinking about the next episode and kind of getting closure, I suppose, right? You got to be careful that you don't watch too much though. Mental fatigue, it's real and it can be exhausting. And some people say that they feel emotionally drained after binging for a long period of time. Not me though, I guess I just haven't binged long enough to feel that. As we move from Buck Cherry to a local Vancouver singer-songwriter named Dan Mangan, he's one of the best in our scene, no doubt. A couple of Juno Awards, big tours across, well, North America for sure, but gets into Europe and Australia as well. 5 studio albums, numerous EPs and singles. You've heard his music in movies, TV shows, Netflix, AMC. And he's also a co-founder of Side Door.
Binge watching. Well, Ozark. We just caught up on Ozark.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
So good.
So many things. Vikings we caught up on. We're watching Afterlife, Ricky Gervais show. I got to give big props to Queer Eye, man. Like, there's so many apocalyptic, dark shows that are so good. And we got to a point where it's like we would watch one episode of like Ozark or something. And then before we go to bed, like we had to watch something more lighthearted and more, you know, yeah. And Queer Eye is no fail. Like it just makes you smile. I probably cry almost every episode. It is a beautiful show about people infusing positivity and hope and like, you know, new chapters into people's lives. And the way that they transform people's lives is remarkable. And it feels like they're doing it in a way that's really lasting. It's not like a zero to hero makeover. It's like they're doing real things to help people live better lives.
Right.
And the other thing that they do is, you know, they're pretty flamboyant guys, and they'll go and they'll deal with like real rednecks who run cattle farms and stuff like that. And you can tell some of these guys off the top, they're like, I don't know about these gays, you know? And by the end of it, they're all hugging and they're just crying and they're like, you know, thank you guys. I love you guys, you know? And it gives you some hope in like that the chasm in the world can be crossed through empathy and through like humans being bros for each other, you know, or sisses as the case may be. It's like, being helpful to each other, being kind-hearted to each other. So yeah, my wife and I, we've gone through, I think, all seasons of Queer Eye, and it's sort of like an antidote when the rest of TV is just getting you too dark.
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels like, I don't know about you, but sure feels like I've almost watched all of Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though they spent like $30 billion on content last year or something like that. You're almost caught up. You did.
Well, that's the cool thing about Netflix is they're at that point where they can actually finance, you know, series and shows now, as opposed to it's all like 20th Century Fox or whatever the hell, Paramount Pictures or
it's most like, you know, it's I'd say most of the things that we have truly dug into on Netflix have been like Netflix originals in the last little while.
There's certainly a sense of escape with binge watching. It can give you a break from reality. It lets you immerse yourself in another world. But if you binge too much, you'll start to eat away your time to do other things like work and hobbies and other productive things in your life. As we'll take you from Dan Mangan to yet another Canadian singer-songwriter named Serena Ryder. Here's another multiple Juno Award winner, 8 studio albums. You've seen her play at Lilith Fair. You've heard her music in movies and TV shows. Her song, Be the Ones, was the official song for the 2018 Arctic Winter Games, another big player in Canada's music scene.
Oh, I started Portlandia again with my boyfriend, and we've been literally just watching a few episodes every night.
So good.
Toddcast Podcast musical guest visits are powered by the Hawkins Sound Ranch. Use their 20-plus years of experience to record at their state-of-the-art studio. Commercial sound on an indie budget. Visit thehawkinssoundranch.com for more. The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
If you live in Western Canada, you know the BC Lions. Even if you're not super into football, you know the team. They've been around since 1954, multiple Grey Cup champions, a super strong fan base. They're part of the fabric of being Canadian. And you'll better know Rodney Darnell Whitehead Jr. as Lucky Whitehead. Speedy, played high school football in Virginia, college ball at Florida Atlantic, signed with the Dallas Cowboys in 2015, played with the Jets, the BC Lions, and now he's back playing with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. An interesting conversation when Lucky was a guest, talking about how his dog was stolen and held at ransom. He talked about realizing his true potential to go pro, the shows that he was binge watching at the time. Ever heard of cupping? Lucky talked about that and how it helps him stay healthy. He shared a near-death motor scooter story, his love of Fortnite and video games, seeing 50 Cent in concert. And stop me if you've heard this before. Lucky talked about the biggest difference from coming from the NFL to play in the CFL.
The field, how big it was. I realized when I was playing, a lot of my routes were short because I was with the waggle. I felt like I was running, had a 10-yard route, but I felt like I already ran 20 yards. So a lot of my routes got cut short, and I just had to get better at that, figure that out, because like that whole waggle, you're back 10 yards, you're waggling, that's 10 yards, then you got a 10-yard route. I got to go another 10, but I just felt like I ran so much that I was always short on my depth. And then like the field was so much bigger. So like when I ran punt returns in the NFL, obviously the field's a lot smaller. When I got to Winnipeg and did it, it was, you got a lot more field. You don't need to cut it up so soon. So I was figuring that out and learned it. But once I learned it, it slowed the game down.
Interesting. How so?
Well, I didn't, because at first it's just, obviously it's just flying bullets out there when you're doing punt return or kick return or offensive, defense, whatever. But once you know that you got more room, right, you don't got to rush everything. And that's what I felt like I was doing my first year up here. I felt like I was rushing everything when I had plenty of time, and I could be more patient. And once I got that and started figuring the game out, everything that was happening in front of me was slower.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
Oh my God, I love it. So retro.
Golden girls and growing pains. So retro. Boxer suits and Nintendo games. So retro. Jack-o'-lantern in the stage. So retro. What fun. Chernobyl and 3 Mile Out. So retro. Nuke apocalypse is nigh. So retro. While holes are burning in the sky. So retro. What fun. Nostalgia. It's gotcha. Nostalgia. Comic books and BB guns. So retro. Cabbage Patch for endless fun. So retro. Muppets, Fraggles, can't just one. So retro. What fun. Body crews and Civil Wars. So retro. Moving these jobs offshore. So retro. Governments and patriot lords. So retro. What fun. Don't forget it. But don't remember. Back to circa 84. Nostalgia. It's gotcha. Nostalgia. Hulkster and the Macho Man. So retro. And those cracks from in their fans. So retro. Boombox pumping out the jam. So retro. What fun. Veneration of the rich. So retro. And the kicking of the poor. So retro. What the hell is this all for? So retro. What fun. Don't forget it. But don't remember. Back to circa 84. Satanic panic. Your cocaine habits. Back to circa 84.
Yes, the band is called The Get Minds, and a new song for them. It's called Circa 84, new Toddcast music, and I'd be willing to bet that you will see that one at our next live show. It's this Friday, November 29th at the Blue Light Studio in East Vancouver. The Get Minds will headline the night. Blue Stem is also playing. Going to play something from those guys a little bit later on in the podcast. It's volume 32 of the Toddcast Blue Light Sessions. Both bands will get a 45-minute set. I'll interview the bands for the first 15-20 minutes while they play as well, and give you the option of asking them questions too. We try to make it very intimate, very interactive, and it's only $20. It's a steal of a deal through eventbrite.ca. Eventbrite, eventbrite.ca. Search Toddcast. You can't miss these shows. 25 bones if you want to gamble and wait for the door. Doors are at 7. Speaking of, the show starts around 8:15, something like that. Played you Cloud Sick, and that's a new song for those guys called Crutch, and they will open up the night at our live show next month in December 20th. Cannot wait for this show. I think that show is more than halfway sold out right now, so if you want to go, grab a ticket right now to make sure you get in. Cloud Sick and Chief State will play that one as well. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, in Listen to This, actress Kristen Renton talking about her career highlights, as there are many. That is powered by great friends, Tocco RV Supplies in Langley. RV service and repairs. They are ICBC accredited, so you can trust that the work is going to get done and get done right. 8-year sponsors, absolutely key to why we've been able to continue making these podcasts for you over the years. Big love to Tamara and the crew there. You can find them online, Facebook and Twitter at Tocco RV Supplies. First, back to more guest highlights in this binge watching podcast, and some sporting guests, all of whom are powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best online dispensary for cannabis, psilocybin, psychedelics. Have been using them solely for years now. Weed, mushrooms, edibles, vapes, hash, oils. Believe me, this site is going to blow your mind. Shop now through sacredmeds.co. Sacredmeds.co. I think that one thing that really drives us to binge watch shows is how we bond. We already talked about a little bit about this, bonding with the characters. You kind of become attached to them, right? Like you feel that you're part of the journey. You empathize with these characters, and all the while, binging for long periods of time can have an impact on physical health. We often don't think about that. Poor posture, weight gain, muscle stiffness, fatigue, it's all real. These are real things. So, as mentioned off the top, this week we have a pro golfer's binge watching habits. Carly Booth is a Scottish pro golfer in the Ladies European Tour.
Well, I love my Netflix, which I'm watching Power at the minute.
Okay. And what's that about?
Have you seen either of them? Well, Power is about this kind of about the drugs in New York. And then Suits is a law kind of program series in New York also. I guess from the traveling, you spend a lot of time watching movies and watching series, just from the traveling and spending a lot of time in hotel rooms.
If you really dig into the psychology of binge watching, one of the things that drives us is completion satisfaction. It's finishing an entire series. It kind of gives you a sense of accomplishment. It's weird, but it's true. It satisfies our need to complete tasks. But while some escapism is healthy, I think we can all agree with that, excessive binging can become a way to avoid dealing with real life responsibilities. It's a small price to pay. From a pro golfer to one of the best Canadian MMA fighters of all time, Julia Budd. You've seen her fight in Strikeforce, Invicta. She was the first Bellator MMA featherweight world champ. She currently fights in the PFL.
What I'm binge watching is, so I just had season 2 of The Sinner. Finished season 2.
Okay.
And I've been into Goliath. I think it's a little bit older, but Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton. We've been binge watching that as well.
What's that about? I've never even heard of it.
He's kind of like a washed up lawyer / he gets back in the game, and it's pretty scandalous.
Yeah, when you start to look at binge watching, one of the biggest positive takeaways is the relaxation aspect. It's a great way to just unwind, take away and take a break from your daily stress. It can actually help you recharge as well, and it can also impact your sleep. Artificial blue light disrupts sleeping patterns, and if you watch intense shows, there can also be a bit of an emotional roller coaster, which of course can cause, post-binge mood drops. So we'll take you from an MMA fighter to to a retired CFL quarterback, former BC Lion Michael Reilly. He played 11 seasons in the CFL. He won the Grey Cup with the Eskimos in 2015, was named MVP that year. He was the CFL's most outstanding player in 2017. And Michael also played in the NFL. He signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2009.
Good question. Again, there's a number of them. Like Apple TV just came out with season 2 of C that has Jason Momoa, I believe is the guy's name, the guy from the Game of Thrones, is called Drago in that. And that's been pretty cool. My wife and I watch Chicago Fire. There's like a million seasons of like Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD. So we're like kind of going through that phase right now. I'm trying to think it like we binged, neither of us had been on Game of Thrones at all. And so we binged through that whole thing at one point in time. But yeah, C is the one that's out right now that like we're waiting each week. What is it? Ted Lasso? Haven't watched it yet, but I've heard amazing things about it. So I think that's like next on our to-do list.
Yeah. That's Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like, I randomly, it's not like on my TV all the time, but like he was on like the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I was just like passing past the TV, and like I stopped and watched like 20 minutes of it because he was just he was in his element. So I got to check that show out.
He just seems like one of those guys like you just have fun hanging with him.
Oh, no question. You gotta have some.
So likable.
It'd be a great time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Toddcast podcast sporting guest visits are powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best online dispensary for cannabis, psilocybin, and psychedelics. Shop now at sacredmeds.co.
I was up all night, stuck in a dream. The haze between reality was wearing on me, and I'm tired of wearing it. It's like I forgot just how things were. Time went by and I was sure I was over it, but I'm not over it. Every time this feeling crashes in, I gotta tell myself, baby, put your worry down. It's too much to carry, it ain't yours to hold. Oh, baby, put your worry down. You just keep drowning, you gotta let it go. I keep digging deep, getting stuck in the past, praying to God the pain won't last in those memories, but they're just memories. Treading water, tiring out, I'm sick of all this endless doubt that's weighing on me. It can't keep weighing on me. Every time this feeling crashes in, I gotta tell myself, baby, put your worry down. It's too much to carry, it ain't yours to hold. Yeah, baby, put your worry down. You just keep drowning, you gotta let it go. Your worry down. It's too much to carry, it ain't yours to hold. Yeah, baby, put your worry down. You just keep drowning, you gotta let it go. Yeah, baby, put your worry down. Yeah, baby, put your worry down. Oh, it's too much to
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Chances are you'll recognize actress Kristen Renton from her role in Sons of Anarchy. Or maybe it's from her starring in Days of Our Lives. Or maybe CSI Miami. Or Anger Management with Charlie Sheen. Kristen grew up in Colorado, moved to Florida when she was little. At 16, she started modeling, then got into acting. And beyond what I just mentioned, you've seen her in The OC, The Glades, in movies Ghouls, In the Mix, Come Away Home. Her latest role, she plays Angela Dutton in the movie First Shift, an American crime drama. And we got into all sorts of things with Kristen. Her first concert, she shared a Star Wars confession. We talked about marijuana's legalization in Canada. She shared a near-death story. Deadpool came up. She touched on her love of football, Trump as U.S. president. And Kristen talked about her career highlights. She's had many. Listen to this.
Thank you. I've been very blessed to work with absolutely amazing people, had beautiful experiences. Career highlight. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. Man.
Like what pops to mind?
Oh man. Well, I mean, there's just so many. You know, when I was working on Days, having Jennifer Aniston's dad tell dirty jokes in between takes was pretty funny. You know, when I got to work with all the boys on Sons, I mean, all of them I was huge fans of, you know, before I got the job, and now being able to call them friends is such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Charlie Sheen donating to my charity, donating a few scripts and you know, autographing something for my mom. That was really beautiful. God, there's just so many. I really don't know what would be the number one highlight.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tocco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tocco RV Supplies.
Red Truck Beer. Nothing delivers like a red truck. Official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
Spending too much time staring at a map. So many things done in a flash. Is that what you want your life to be about? Hard to be here when you wanna break out, 'cause there's always somewhere to be. You keep pushing me. There's always somewhere to be. It crosses your mind, then it floats away. You lay it on the line, or wash it down the drain. Is that what you want your life to be about? Hard to be here when you wanna break out, 'cause there's always somewhere to be. Keep pushing me. There's always somewhere to be.
The band is called Blue Stem, and that's their song called Always Somewhere to Be. As mentioned, this Friday, you can see them at the Blue Light Studio in beautiful East Vancouver. Toddcast Podcast Blue Light Sessions, Volume 32. How did we get that high already? The Get Minds will headline. Cannot wait to see Blue Stem's set. The stuff that they've posted online looks incredible. And truly, that's what it's all about, though, right? I mean, it's the live show. Each band will get that 45-minute set. I will interview the bands, You can as well. It's intimate. It's interactive. There's a break between both sets, maybe a 15, 20-minute break. You can kind of toss back a Red Truck beer or Canadian Club Tall Boy or Nude Vodka. All of our booze sponsors make it out to our live shows, as you would expect. $20 in advance if you want to buy tickets right now through eventbrite.ca. $25 at the door. Doors are at 7 o'clock. Shows usually get underway around 8:15-ish. Now, you heard a new song for Sadie Campbell. It's called Put Your Worry Down. And Sadie's originally from Vancouver, but she's been in Nashville now for the better part of a decade, kicking ass and taking names. Recently had a baby as well, so busy, about to get even busier with a kid in tow. But if you get a chance to see Sadie live, you have to do it. She's one of those that makes it seem like easy. It's almost an effortless vibe coming out of Sadie Campbell. Speaking of live music, you can check out the concert calendar at toddhancock.ca. Shows we think you should be going to in Vancouver and the area. If you are playing a show, by the way, or if you're going to one, if it's indie, let me know about it. I'll get it up at the site, get some free advertising. As mentioned in past episodes as well, we may play your music, but of course I need to have your music in order to be able to play it. So email it to me through the contact page at toddhancock.ca. I would love to hear what you're working on. And of course, while you're at the site, check out all of our featured news. It's mostly music and entertainment news. There's some sports stories from time to time. All of that is powered by longtime friends, the Homedwell Group. Longtime, I'm talking literally grade 6, like elementary school. I've known one of the guys in Homedwell since like elementary, grade 6. If you're buying a home, if you're selling your home, contact them today. They will help you out, make it easy. Homedwell.ca. Okay, our final guests of this episode 349, Binge Watching Habits. This week's entertainment and lifestyle guests, powered by Thrive Management. They are an event staffing agency here in Canada. Models, brand ambassadors, operations to sales, TV and film, trade shows, home maintenance, you name it. Whatever you need help with, let them help with your next big event. They do across Canada in all major cities in the country. Find out how they can help you through thrivemanagement.ca. Another interesting thing about binge watching is that it gives you a social connection. It can take part in cultural conversations, right? You have your 2 cents and shared experiences or whatever the topic may be. But if you watch too much fictional worlds, it can kind of be a bit of a challenge to separate fantasy from reality. And your real life expectations kind of become distorted, or so they say. I don't feel that personally, but that's what I'm reading. Dean Blundell is a former Canadian radio personality. He's best known for his time hosting the Edges in Toronto, Edge 102, the morning show. He did the morning show on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, as well for a couple of years. He's now part of Crier Media, and he has a loyal following on social media. If you follow him, you'll see him constantly pushing the buttons, looking for interactions, looking for engagement.
Just getting ready to hit Stranger Things 3 with my kid.
Yeah, saw that
like literally night. Right now.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
I didn't watch it. I just saw that it was posted, so I haven't taken the plunge yet.
Yeah, you got to do it, but I'm not going to do all 8 episodes because then I'll have nothing to watch. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh my god, I shouldn't have watched all of those. It's interesting, but I started getting into Shameless way late. I know I'm going to do Game of Thrones coming up here real soon. Because, well, I don't think it is because there's dragons in it. I just don't watch shit with dragons.
Shameless. Great show.
Oh, Shameless. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal.
There's something to be said about the instant gratification of binge watching. You get immediate answers, you know the outcomes, and when you rip through a bunch of episodes all at once, critics say that binging too much can affect your mood. I don't know if it does that for me. You can feel drained after watching hours upon hours. Some even say they felt lonely or depressed. Like personally, I've never felt anything like that, but I'll take it, sure. As we take you from one of Canada's preeminent broadcasters to a best-selling author named Kimberly Tocco. You'll know Kimberly's story from when she was a guest. Her 13-year-old son took his own life, and she used that horrible life moment as a vehicle to change lives. She wrote her book, Overcome, Memoirs of a Suicide. The stigma of suicide is real. And Kimberly's book talks about that. She says, it's not what you go through, it's how you come through it. Kimberly also works in real estate. She's been featured on HGTV's Pool Hunters. She sells around 12 to 15 million bucks in real estate per year.
I'm not a TV watcher. I would rather be outside riding with the dogs. But when we do, Loki, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, what was the new one we were watching, my husband and I? Oh, The Witcher, part 2. Yeah. Just started that one. That's our kind of thing. We're superheroes. I like fantasy, Star Trek, Star Wars.
Depending on what you're binge watching, some shows dive into unique cultures, and there's an educational opportunity there, right? Especially in documentaries or historical dramas. You really can gain a deeper understanding of these topics, while at the same time, you lose some social interaction, reducing quality of time with your friends and family. It's a fine line to walk, isn't it? It will take you from a best-selling author to a multi-talented comedian, writer, and producer named Vaughn Decarlo. Vaughn produced 3 Patrice O'Neill comedy albums. She wrote and produced the theme music for his Comedy Central special, Elephant in the Room. She wrote the book Speak Fluent Man. She hosted the Power Hour and the Godfrey Complex on SiriusXM. She was the first woman to host her own show on the SiriusXM NBA channel.
Well, okay, so I did this CNN year-end wrap-up called All the Best, All the Worst of 2018, and I was so disappointed that I forgot. They asked me about television, and it hasn't aired yet, but check it out when it does air on CNN. It's going to air over the holidays and stuff, and that was one of the questions that they asked. We went over all these different TV shows, and I forgot to mention my favorite show, Power. Like, I was like, oh, my God, how did I forget to mention 50 Cent? Get the strap. Power.
Right.
I love Power.
Talkcast podcast entertainment guest visits are powered by Thrive Management, an event staffing agency that provides staffing services across Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, Ottawa, and all of BC. Find out more at thrivemanagement.ca.
Of a shadow cast in fear. Choke on your twisted
you can really feel the influences coming through with the new song from Closers. That's called Fake News, a new song for them, new Toddcast music as well. They hooked me up with their album a few months back now, and every single track is solid, start to finish. They're now based out of Toronto. I believe they're from Vancouver, though. We've been back and forth about possibly getting them to play a podcast show in the new year. Should all the stars align, which with any luck, that will happen. It's sounding like it will, but I don't want to say it will, but it's starting to sound like it will. Looking forward to next week. We're taking a week off to get ready to wrap up the year, have a couple of best of episodes coming up, and then we'll get into the two year-end podcasts that we always do. We kind of just showcase the best parts of key interviews over the years. They always get a ton of play, so clearly you like these podcasts, so I'll continue to make them for you. Of course, big thanks to all of our guests this week as we shine a light back on their names, on their careers, and often, especially with these types of podcasts, we go back years to grab audio from our guests. This sort of stuff really doesn't have an expiry date, right? When you're talking about binge watching shows, it's evergreen, so to speak. You can always go back and watch something that was recommended a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. Binge watching can pass the time. Hours can go by. Time seems to get distorted. Like, how did so much time go by? It's kind of been the norm, hasn't it? You can watch multiple episodes of your favorite show, deep dive without having to wait for the next episode. But does that mean you're also creating a reliance on screens for relaxation or entertainment? Maybe. But been trying to highlight the good and the bad on this episode. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. Guess what I'm trying to say is be mindful of the time that you're spending in front of a screen. Before you know it, the world is passing you by. And with that, let's put a bow on this one. Episode 349, Binge Watching Habits. My name is Todd Hancock. Thank you again for listening. If you liked this podcast, please do tell your friends about what we're doing. It's a big way how we grow. We're part of the Realm.fm network. It's a huge network of fiction and nonfiction podcasts. If you want to check them out again through Realm.fm, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. All videos are at our YouTube channel. Comment and rate the podcast. It helps out big time. A simple search of Toddcast podcast. You can't miss us. Huge thanks to all of our excellent sponsors. Sure would be tough to do all of this without their unwavering support. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you would like to sponsor the podcast with your business, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. Maybe we'll have a beer, have a coffee, and see what's up. Maybe I can help out. And as always, help us find a sponsor. We will give you a commission. Not even kidding. Till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
Oh, please, not that music. That music gives me nightmares from my childhood.
Could we get something a little bit lighter, some lighter music here?
Are you a fan of true crime TV shows?
And what about Unsolved Mysteries, the show that jump-started all of our love of true crime?
I'm Ellen Marsh.
And I'm Joey Taranto.
And we host I Think Not, a true crime comedy podcast covering some of the wildest stories from your favorite true crime campy TV shows all the way to Unsolved Mysteries.
Baby, you will laugh, you will cry, you'll think about true crime in a whole new way, and you'll also ask yourself, who gave these people mics?
New episodes of I Think Not are released every Wednesday with bonus episodes out every Thursday on Patreon.
And every Monday, you can listen to our True Crime Rundown, where we go over the top true crime headlines of the week.
So come and join us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hi, listeners. We want to tell you about a podcast we love. It's called Rebel Girls, formerly known as Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. It's about real-life women who are changing the world with their courage, creativity, and big, bold ideas. Want to know how Taylor Swift became a superstar? Or hear how Simone Biles became the greatest athlete of all time? From immersive stories to heartfelt interviews to super smart advice, Rebel Girls brings you stories that will get you fired up to become your best self. There are over 400 episodes for you to explore, with new episodes every week. So check it out. Listen to Rebel Girls wherever you get your podcasts. And find us on youtube.com/rebelgirls. And whatever you do, stay rebel.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you're going to love our podcast, Disney Countdown. Hi, I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And Biscuits, I'm Jeremy, aka Jarendell, and we are the hosts of the hit Disney podcast, Disney Countdown.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show, right, Jeremy?
Ooh, girl, you know we are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you are looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.